Hello, it's been a while since I've done a video, but I am now back with some Steam Deck content. Let's jump into it. We're back in April 2022, 6 months ago at the time I am recording this, or just short of. I recorded a review about one of these, the Steam Deck. I wasn't that impressed at the time. I've come to realise how wrong I was. So my original review was from the perspective of a casual gamer, which pretty much best describes me, mainly because I have a very busy life, work, children, etc. All taking up a lot of my time, so I don't get much time to game. I had very high hopes about the Steam Deck, and unfortunately, in my review, I came to the conclusion that it wasn't really for me. But I've changed my mind. Shortly after I completed that review, I sold the Steam Deck and pretty much doubled my money as they were going for a heck of a lot of money at the time. Within a few weeks of selling it, I was missing it. So I pre-ordered another. And that has now arrived a couple of weeks ago. And I have been playing on it pretty much non-stop. And I love it. For some very strange reason, I had in my head that people were likely to take the Steam Deck on the train, on the bus, on the commute to work, or play on it just sat on a bench at the park or that kind of thing. But it's just not for that. In my original video, I did point out a couple of things which I feel now I was a bit harsh on the device, in particular around battery life. I mean, the hardware in these is immense. And for me to expect it to have a battery life of beyond 3 to 4 hours of a fairly steady gaming session is a bit unreasonable, and I do feel a bit harsh for that. I did also mention that only 17% of my library was optimised. That number has increased slightly, mainly because I've been buying more Steam optimised games. However, even games that aren't optimised with Proton, they pretty much will run. It's just sometimes you have to bring on the on-screen keyboard, that kind of thing, but it's not difficult. The shortcuts to do it. Something I also said was that the world isn't ready for this device yet. Well, clearly it is. It still remains quite hard to get a hold of, which suggests to me that demand is absolutely through the roof. Something else I touched on was the fact that I wouldn't play AAA games on the device. I have no idea why I said that. A bit of a ridiculous statement to make, given that most AAA games will now run really well on the Steam Deck, and developers are actively considering the fact that some of their base will be using a Steam Deck to play their titles. And then this brings me to one of the last points I made on my ridiculous review back in April. And that was that I said casual gamers should buy a Nintendo Switch. I don't think I even need to comment on that. That's just absurd. It's chalk and cheese. The Steam Deck isn't a Nintendo Switch, and the Nintendo Switch isn't a Steam Deck. They are not targeted at the same market. There is some crossover. Casual gamers may want to just buy a Nintendo Switch, but not all casual gamers. The variety of games available on the Steam Deck is phenomenal, and it just continues to grow because it is backed by the outstanding library of games available on Steam. So what's changed? What's made me go from being not impressed by the Steam Deck to then buying another and being very impressed? Well, there's a number of factors I think that run into this, and that is I've watched other people's content and I've discovered they have taken a different approach to what the Steam Deck's for. I think one of the best descriptions I've heard, I can't actually remember which content creator did say this or call it out, but I think really one of the best uses for it is if you are sat on your sofa. I've found that sometimes I can play it with my kids watching TV, just use a Bluetooth set of headphones, and it doesn't disturb anyone, and it's quite a, I wouldn't say social experience, but it's certainly doable. If you want to sit there playing FIFA or something, you just want a quick game, and your family's in the room, then one of the other fantastic things that I just didn't quite grasp was how amazing SteamOS is. So since it's gone to this version that they've built for the Steam Deck, not really much you need to do. It just works out the box and there's no faffing about. If you ever used SteamOS on a PC from before version 3, which was built for the Steam Deck, then it was a bit of a clunky experience. Some features needed to have experimental features enabled, and it was a bit of a strange experience. The Proton emulation didn't always work. The games that did work were never optimized. I mean, I know that's for a bunch of hardware, but I have seen some tutorials of how to install the Steam Deck OS on a PC, and it's just fantastic. It's just brilliant. And I do really hope that in the future we do see hardware with SteamOS on it, and go back to what Steam had planned a few years ago before pretty much kicking that plan into touch, which was to have Steam machines instead of games consoles sat in your living room. I think genuinely, if they can do the hardware as cheap as they do at the moment, if they put a Steam Deck into effectively like a Fire TV Cube sort of device, I think it'd really take off. People are quite happy with 720p, 1080p gaming in the living room. I know some of the newest generation of consoles are pushing more fast frame rates and high resolutions, but it's not for everyone. And if you've already got a Steam library that you want to play, then it'd be perfect. So what have I been playing on the Steam Deck? Well, I've continued playing racing games. I don't know why. I just really enjoy arcadey racing games, such as Wreckfest, that kind of thing. I just like the fact that you can just pick it up, play for a few minutes or play for a few hours, and just have a really good, fun gaming experience. So now that I've managed to get a hold of a Steam Deck again, I need some guidance as to what accessories you think I should buy for it, and I could do a video on those. I've seen some of the third-party docks which look pretty cool, but I'm quite happy to take recommendations in the comments below. Obviously, micro SD card, I've got quite a sizable one. I don't need to get a bigger one. And you can actually swap them out. So if you've got multiple micro SD cards with your games on, you can use them as though you're using cartridges on a Nintendo Switch. Just swap them over. I am going to be trying to do a bit more content. It's been quite a while since I've done anything like this, but I am going to start trying to get on with that. I've had quite a good busy summer, going on lots of holidays, that kind of thing. So now that the poor weather's here back in the UK, I may be doing a few more videos for you. Thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed the video, then please click like. If you've not enjoyed it, click dislike. And if you want to see more of my content, please do subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one. Thanks a lot.